Happy Tuesday, everyone. We got a fun on the minute for you guys today. We're going to talk about that momentarily, but before that, let's talk about what we have to get you prepped. We have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5 to start opening up those shoulders and legs. Forearm plank rock for 20 seconds, just continual kind of back and forth. Prone shoulder raise, 6 to 10 alternating, and then a floor facing angel for 3 reps in 5 seconds. Again, just to really get those arms ready to go, that upper body fired up for what's to come. 2 rounds of that. We're going to move down to the bottom piece, which is going to get a little bit more dynamic, a little more explosive, and a little bit of skill work. So we got our jump drop plus rebound, 3 to 5 reps. Dumbbell pause, hang, power clean for 3. You're going to pause in the receiving position for a couple seconds. We'll say 2 to 3 seconds in each rep. You'll then move into a dumbbell pause push press for 3 at 3 seconds, where you'll pause in the bottom of the dip each rep. So it's going to be a little different when you drive out of the bottom, and we'll talk about that when we get to that demo. And then we'll finish off with some dumbbell standing march for 30 seconds just to get those legs fired up, especially after yesterday. 2 rounds of that, and then we'll go to a practice round, which I'll put up on the workout description on the bottom. And then we'll tackle this lovely work set. Our workout today is an on the minute for 12 minutes. You will do minute number 1, a little box jump for 20 reps, or a rep range that's going to allow you to have about 10 seconds remaining. So we're going to try and push that range. We're going to stick about 10 to 20 reps, see where you're comfortable, see where you're at. Minute number 2, 15 burpees. So you're going to, again, give yourself that range that allows you to have about 10 seconds remaining. So if that's not 15, so be it. Somewhere between that 10 to 15 rep mark for those burpees. Now last but not least, we have a dumbbell power clean and jerk. So we have 6 to 10 reps. So we'll be taking the dumbbell from below the knee, landing into power position, and then we'll pop that dumbbell overhead in that jerk or push press. So we have 6 to 10 reps there, and then we'll repeat back at minute number 1. So you take that down 4 rounds. It's going to be a busy 4 rounds, but let's have some fun. We'll enjoy today's work set. We'll see where it takes us. Let's get those feet under those hips. We'll take the arms up big and tall. We're going to stretch it over to one side. We'll stretch it over to the other side. Big reach. We'll come back up. We're going to take it all the way to the floor. Touching those toes. We're going to walk up those shins. Flowing down, we'll frame the foot. We'll step back into our lizard. Nice and square in those hips. Inside hands are going to reach up to the sky. I'm going to rotate. Forearm down. We'll come back up. We'll rotate. Forearm down. Back up. And rotate. Forearm down. We'll come back up to the sky. We'll plant that hand. We'll take that outside hand up to the sky. Plant that hand down as we step back into our down dog. Reaching those hips. Let's wake up the ankles and the feet as we walk those heels back and forth, nice and gentle. Keeping it dynamic though, because we want to wake up those legs. Just waking up the calves. We'll come back into our plank. We'll step the other foot up. Nice and square in those hips. We'll take the inside hand to the sky. Rotate. We'll come back up. And then rotate. Back up. And rotate. Back up. Plant that hand. Take that outside hand up to the sky. Plant that on the floor. We'll step back into our down dog again. Sag those shoulders. And we'll walk those heels back and forth. Nice and easy as we wake up those calves and ankles. We'll come back into our plank. Pushing the floor away. Tiptoe those feet all the way up. And we'll roll ourselves all the way up overhead. Big stretch. A little reach. Little reach. Come down with those hands. Let's get ready to rock and roll, you guys. Now, if you have any extra little work sets you'd like to do for you, get yourself prepped and ready, please do so. Pause the video, take that down. We're going to move through that first phase of that upper body and core work set to get you prepped and ready for action. All right, let's get ourselves primed and ready. We're going to start off with a plank to down dog. So I'm going to establish first my good plank position. So my hands are just going to be outside my shoulders, underneath though my shoulders, as I push the floor away a bit and pull my ribs in, just to get that nice engagement through the midsection. From here, I'm going to pull my hips back. As I set those shoulders, I'm really working to keep those shoulders wrapped around the to maintain that nice strong overhead position. From here, I'll come back into my plank, pushing the floor away to get that shoulder set position. And then again, drawing the hips back as I open up through those hips. I'm going to be a little softer in the ankles and the knees so I can maintain that hip angle. And then as I come through, pushing the floor away into that nice plank position. So I'm going to flow back and forth from those two pieces, really focusing on that pressure into the floor to really push the floor away as I maintain that strong shoulder structure from my back and forth position. Don't feel rushed in between those movements, and also if you'd like to add in some toe touches or some heel presses in those down dogs, please be my guest. It's going to help aid in getting the shoulders and those ankles ready for what's to come. Once we're done our 3 to 5 reps there, we're going to move into our forearm plank rock. And the forearm plank rock is a really cool way to start firing up that action through the lats, that engagement through that side body. So first things first, then we're going to establish our forearm plank. I'm going to get into that nice forearm plank, nice and solid, push the floor away like I did my previous plank, ribs pull in. And now I'm going to pull my elbows towards my hips. So I'm actively pulling with that upper body, which is going to pull my body forward. I'm going to push back. So I'm pulling, keeping that body tall, and pushing back. So I use the term pull my elbow to my hip. It's not actually going to move because it's connected to the ground, but it's going to pull my body forward in that nice lean. I'm just going to kind of collapse the elbow a little bit, bring the shoulder forward, but we're maintaining a good strong plank the entire time. We're not letting that hip drag or sag towards the floor. So nice strong plank the entire time. Just take it to where you feel comfortable and then press back with that upper body into that nice forearm plank. So you're going to work through that 20 seconds, just nice and steady, taking it to the range you feel comfortable. When we're done the forearm plank rock, we're going to lay on our stomach. We're going to move continuing into that shoulder as we work on our prone shoulder raise. So we're going to bring our toes together. We're going to press them into the ground. We're going to press the armpits down and press the hands down to establish the nice tight core position and shoulder position. From here, we're going to maintain that core position as we lift our arm up, holding that position. Then we're going to lower the arm down, pressing the arm into the floor. We're going to lift the other arm up, keeping that good shoulder position, and lower, set the arm, and then move back into the next one. We're going to work on alternating arms back and forth so we can really focus on the assistance with that arm that's on the floor to help maintain that core position for our body. Once we're done this, we're going to pull our hands into our chest and our bottom of a pressure position. So it's just, our hands are just outside the chest and outside the shoulders. My wrist is going to be stacked under the elbow. I'm going to pull the shoulders forward in that humeral glide. I'm going to pull them back so they're set. I'm going to pull my ribs and hips in. And I'm going to squeeze my shoulders together, lifting the elbows, lifting the hands, and holding that position for 3 to 5 seconds. Then I'll come down, I'll reset, and do it again. So what we want to focus on is maintaining that hollow position as we engage through the shoulders to pull the hands back. So engaging through the upper back, the elbows will come straight up, the hands might come off the floor, but they may still be touching a little bit. What we're trying to do is lift straight back, not contort to get the hands off the floor completely. So just engage through the upper back and see what range you have. As a quick recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, forearm plank rock of 20 seconds, prone shoulder raise of 6 to 10 alternating reps, floor facing angel of 3 at 5-second holds. You're going to hit that up for 2 rounds, getting yourself nice and prepped, core, shoulders, everything fired up before we start getting explosive in the next phase. So pause that video, come back and join us. We're going to get you guys ready to get some more explosive movement going. All right, we're going to get started with some jump drop drills plus rebound. So we're going to show you the jump drop first. The jump drop is that really fun little work set that's going to help focus on our landing position of a jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to come with our feet underneath of our hips, or our kind of power position. We're going to come up on the toes, and we're going to stay balanced between the big toe and pinky toe. And then you're going to go down, and you're going to pull yourself down into this jumping position, landing with those knees apart slightly in and that strong absorption of that impact. So we're not jumping per se just yet, but with the jump drop, we're pulling ourselves into this power position, absorbing into that foot. So we're going from toe to midfoot, keeping that foot nice and flat as we absorb, and getting those knees out as we absorb through the hips and the legs. So adding into that next phase, we go up into that rebound. So we go jump drop into our rebound, which turns into our jump. So what the full drill looks like is coming up onto the toes, we come down and up, and then land back in that strong power position. We don't need to try and jump as high as we can. We're just trying to return the energy back in the opposite direction. So we come up, nice and smooth, we come down and up, and then land back in that power position, so we're absorbing that impact. We're not looking at rebounding a bunch of reps of these in a row, we're just doing one at a time. So when you land, you'll stand, bring your feet back under, set it up, take the drill back through again, land, stand, set it up, and then you do 3 to 5 reps, working through as individual single reps for skill. Once we're done our jump, drop, and rebound, we're gonna move into our hang power clean with a pause. So I'm gonna get my dumbbell, so you can do this with 2, you can do this with 1. Doesn't matter how many dumbbells you're holding, but the movement's gonna be the same. So we're gonna take the dumbbell from the knee, so we're gonna take the dumbbell to the knee height position, that hinge. We're gonna drive those legs in that nice big push, and we're gonna pull into that landing, that power position, so somewhere above the knee. But that's where we're gonna pause. So with speed, it looks like so. We take it to the knee, drive through the legs, pause in this landing position for a few seconds, stand tall. Then we do it again. Take it to the knee in that good hinge, feeling that midfoot, drive through those legs, pause in the receive position, stand tall. So you're just holding in that receive position so you can feel your balance and feel that landing strong power position. Conveniently enough, it's very similar to the landing we do in our jump, drop, drop. Now once we're done our 3rd rep per side or 3rd rep in total, you're gonna end up in this front rack position. And we're gonna work on a pause push press. So my feet are gonna come under my hips. I'm going to dip and hold for 3 seconds. Then I'm going to push through the legs, up and push, and then I come back down. So I dip and hold for 3 seconds, stand press, come back down, dip, hold, stand press. So the hardest part about this is making sure that we don't re-dip. So I'll show you what that looks like. I dip, I pause, and then I dip again. But I'm already in the bottom of the dip, so we really have to fight for the dip and then straight up through the legs. So no re-dipping. The pause in the bottom of that dip is going to take away the momentum. So it's going to feel heavier, all right, than it normally will in the workout with that momentum of the dip and the drive. So keep that in mind. It is meant to feel kind of strange, but it's going to help work that leg drive for the press. Now after that pause push press, we have our standing march. And you can hold the dumbbell in the front rack, suitcase, goblet, zercher, however you want to hold it. And you're going to work on just standing and marching with those strong legs, picking that knee up high, keeping that balancing leg straight and balanced and strong as we work on waking up our quads and our hips. So we're going to get a little higher knee march. It's really just to get the legs kind of alive, with some steady state movement. It's not going to tucker you out too much, but it's going to give you a little sense of heat in those quads. So as a quick recap, we have our jump drop plus rebound for 3 to 5 reps. Dumbbell pause, hang power clean for 3, pausing in the receiving position. Dumbbell pause push press for 3 at 3 seconds, pausing in the bottom of the dip, taking away that momentum. Then dumbbell standing march, 30 seconds. 2 rounds of that just to get yourself prepped. Then we're going to take down our practice round, which we'll talk about with those movements in our workout. So pause the video, take down that skill work, take down that practice. We're going to get you ready for what's to come. All right, the movements in our workout today. We start off with box jumps. So if you have something at home that you're comfortable with in terms of jumping onto the apparatus, please use it, but make sure it's stable and it's strong and it's going to hold you, or make sure that it's balanced so that if we land kind of funky, it's not tippy. So the jump, we're going to use that same kind of rebound style. So we're going to kind of pull those hips back, letting those knees come out to drive ourselves upwards onto the top of the box. So it's going to look like so. We stand tall, stepping down, and then rock the next rep. So we land, open up the hips and knees, and then lower back down with the step. Now if you have something at home that you're not comfortable jumping on, or you don't jump, you're like, nah, I step. You can step. You can work on that good step up, standing nice and tall, fully extending those knees and hips at the top, making sure we come fully open and stepping back down. Very important as well when we step, we're thinking about our knee alignment, so making sure that that knee tracks the toe and it's staying away from this kind of inward position as we kind of work our step, keeping it strong and stable, just like we would if we were squatting or lunging. Now another variation with an apparatus can also be that lateral step over or that lateral hop over that we can work moving side to side. If you'd like to play around with that, you're more than welcome to. Now if you don't have an apparatus, we can work on our vertical power jump. So we can work on those rebound jumps. Again, working on a couple reps at a time. So you have 10 to 20 reps in the work set. You'll take down some nice smooth rebound sets of 3 to 5. Rest a few seconds, do it again. Trying to build to the number you feel comfortable with in that minute of work. If you're like, nah, I would like to work the broad jump. We also have the broad jump. So we're going to use that same power position and we're going to jump horizontally, covering some distance. So again, our landing position for the broad jump is the same, that good knee out position, absorbing smoothly into that landing so we're not landing with a lot of impact into those feet. So take your time, pick your jump, all right, work it for the skill that it is, and set yourself up with some good reps. I'll have some nice options on the workout description for you to choose from to make this yours. Our next minute of work is a burpee, and we have two variations we could play with. We have our full burpee, which we come down, chest and thigh touch, or we have our step back variation, same thing, chest and thigh touch, or any combination of those two pieces. Remembering that we're trying to keep the elbows at that nice stacked position, and we're trying to keep them at a 45. Also maintaining a nice tight core so that we're protecting and making the shoulder as efficiently kind of solid as we can with our press and our dynamic press. Now if you don't want to do the full burpee, we can work on the squat thrust, which offers its own little bit of challenge as it is. So we come down, we jump into our plank, jump our feet back in, or we can work the same combo with the step, or any variation of those two pieces as well. So the only difference between the squat thrust and the burpee, well, we don't bend the elbow, we don't touch the chest. So we want to make sure we're hitting that good strong plank, hand under the shoulder, nice and active through that plank like we were talking about earlier in the warm-up with that nice strong plank position. So setting that head to hip as one solid piece, rocking that position super strong, and letting the legs do the dynamic phase of the movement. Now from there, we have a power clean and jerk, or power clean and press. So if you have 2 dumbbells, you can use 2 dumbbells. If you have a single, it's going to be a total count rep of 6 to 10 reps. You can alternate, you can do half and half per side, it's up to you. And this can be relatively heavy, as long as you can get the work done in the minute, and you're comfortable putting that dumbbell over your head. So I'm going to grab my dumbbell again. So what we're going to do is stand over top of the dumbbell. I'm going to turn profile. We are going to take it from the floor or somewhere below the knee. Power clean, push press, or push jerk. Or we can come down, power clean, right into the press, or power clean, right into the jerk. So a few different variations there for for you guys to play with that power clean and jerk or power clean and press. The key things to keep in mind, we're taking the dumbbell from somewhere below the knee. It does not have to touch the floor. Our back position is our primary focus. So we want to make sure that back position is in a good, solid, locked in state. We land in that power position. Then we're either going to use that vertical dip drive to kind of press out of the bottom into that press or jerk, or we're going to stand tall, use that vertical drive to drive into that press or push jerk. So play with it. The key principles of the clean and jerk are there. It depends on what you're comfortable with and what your fatigue level is sitting at coming off those box jumps and burpees. We have a lot of work in this work set, 4 rounds. It's going to be pushing it pretty close to the top of the minute of each of these work sets. But remember, give yourself the reps that it's going to allow you at least about 10 seconds of transition. The power clean and jerk, depending on how heavy you go, will probably be the quickest of the 3 minutes. So you'll have a little bit more rest there getting ready for your box jumps. So take your time, work well with this, you guys, have tons of fun, and make sure we're making and choosing those options that suits you best to further you for where you're at right this second. As always, work for quality, have a ton of fun, you guys. Let me know how this one goes. I'm always interested to hear how these workouts are going and what you choose to play with in these options. So let me know how it goes, and we'll see you tomorrow for another fun little work set.